All right, let's get this party started. There we go. Hello, everyone. Soul Commodore back at you again. We're back with this painting today. This is kind of a makeup stream for the fact that I missed the stream on Monday due to unforeseen circumstances. But we're back here today. We're going to be working on this piece again. My goal for today. Actually, let me switch over to the other scene because you can see it easier over there. Nope, that's the wrong one. There we go. So our goal for today, as you can see two of me, is to finish the last three blue panels. We're about halfway done this one. Do this one, the one over here, and then go in between the two different colors and just kind of clean up these edges so that the edges aren't as visible as they are. So just kind of like cleaning up the edges just a little bit. That's the goal for today, is to finish up the blue panels and then kind of clean up the edges. So why don't we get started? I'm just going to adjust the volume on the music a bit. There we go. All right. Hey, Calico Kitties. Welcome on in. Thank you for the raid. You're seeing two of me right now, so apologies if that's unnerving to anybody. I like that raid message. Let me give you a shout out. How are you doing? It has been a hot minute. I hope you're doing well. How was your stream? Hello, I am Zombie Food. Oh, you were working on some art as well. Very nice. Very nice. What were you working on? For those of you who don't know me, my name is Soul Commodore. I am an artist. I also play some games from time to time, but today we're doing art. Usually I don't stream on Saturdays, but I missed the stream that I usually do last Monday, so we're making up for it today. But yeah, I hope your stream went well. If any of you need to raid and run, you need to go get a snack, you need to go eat something, you need to go get a drink, you need to go take a rest, keep yourself from watching the screen for a bit, please feel free to do so. That's perfectly fine. Working on a watercolor of a horned lizard. Very cool. I like that. I like that a lot. Feel free to share it if you like. In the channel points, there are, I think, very, very cheap. Like it's like 10 things where you can like either share your work with everyone, where you just post the link in chat and then I can show it on stream. If you'd rather me not show it on stream, but you still want people to see it, you can just share the link in the chat with the share your work with some. And then there's share your work with me, where if you don't want anybody to see it on stream, you don't want anybody to see it in chat, you can just send it to me via a whisper or on Blue Sky, Timothy_Jamar, or I think it's just Timothy Jamar, actually, there's no underscore. Either way, you can just send it to me and I'll take a look at it. But yeah, if you feel like it, feel free to post a link in chat. That's all good. But that sounds absolutely lovely. But I hope you're doing well. I hope life's been treating you well. I was just saying that what my plan for today is to finish off the last three blue panels here, and then go in and kind of clean up some of these edges, because you can kind of see it on camera actually. There's like some yellow peeking through on this blue panel, just because that's where the tape was. And it's not exact because I'm not exact. I'm not a scientist or anything. So we just got to go in and like kind of clean up these edges a bit. Thankfully, we don't have too much to clean up. But yeah, welcome on in, everybody. Just gonna get some more paint. And the only paint color I'm using in terms of like painting these figures is black. Everything, all the other colors are already applied on the canvas like ages ago. Because I kind of, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of got intimidated with the prospect of doing this painting. in doing these figures. So I painted the stripes and then kind of put the paintings down for a minute. And now I'm picking them back up. So, all right. Also, let me know if the volume of anything is too low or too high or anything like that. Please feel free to let me know because I don't know. It's been a bit of a struggle, but I'm hopeful still. Finished my master's in AI, but I'm having trouble finding a job over here in the UK. But I'll be okay. I'll find something. Well, I'm sorry to hear that you're finding you're finding it a struggle to find work. I that was me in 2021. I had left my previous job because they didn't have enough protections in place for I found uh, for the staff in the warehouse for COVID. So I left, and then it took me a very, very long time to find another job. But I really hope that you're able to find one soon. But also, congratulations on finishing your master's. That's quite the achievement. That is quite the achievement. But yeah, I hope you're able to find something soon. Because yeah, job hunting and not being able to find one, it's hard. It's hard. Oh, you're very welcome. No, that's an amazing achievement. All right, where do I want to start on this? I'm still not, if I'm being honest, I'm still not completely happy with how this nose turned out, but particularly this nostril. But we're just gonna press on because that's what you do, you know. Other than the job hunt, I hope that life's been treating you well in the UK. I know friend of the channel and friend in real life, Jake from the Woods. He lives in the UK with his wife. We've been friends since high school. Um, Scotland. All right, let's try this nostril now. See if this one goes a little bit better, a little bit smoother. It's been nice. Weather is a lot better than Texas. Fair. That is fair enough. I believe it. Okay. Yeah, the weather here has been absolutely bone-chilling cold for the last 2 weeks. Yesterday, it finally let up some. It let up enough that I could actually like go out and change my wife's battery. You couldn't cope with Texas weather. 2 degrees Celsius is a shorts weather for you. Fair, fair. No, I hear that. I hear that. I yeah, I was having well, I wasn't having trouble because I like the cold, but man, was it cold the last 2 weeks. Like it was bone chilling cold where I'm at here in Canada. And on top of that too, like my wife's car battery died, so we tried to jump it, and that didn't work. So then We actually decided, instead of trying to jump it again, now that it's a little bit warmer, um, we would just get a new battery because she was due for a new battery anyway. Um, so I replaced that last night, and thank goodness, because it's a little bit warmer. Having to change that battery in like the freezing cold temperatures, where it was like -20, is what it felt like. That would not have been fun. That would not have been fun at all. I'm just kind of lightly brushing in the shadow here underneath the nostril. Just taking our time with it, with very little paint on the brush. Like very, very little paint on the brush. I wish it snowed here, but it hasn't done that regularly since I was a kid. Ah, fair, fair. Probably would have just killed the new battery too. Yeah, yeah, most likely, most likely. Yeah, it was. Man, was it cold. And I usually like cold weather because cold weather makes me feel alive. I joke with my friends because you can go outside and you can literally see the thing which is keeping us alive. You know, you can see your breath. But that was the last couple of weeks. That was a little much. That was a little much for my liking. Okay. Now this kind of just fades into a lighter shadow over here. I don't have to get this part exact, but I kind of want to, you know? And then the shadow above. Cold weather is so fresh. Then when it gets too cold, you can warm up with hot chocolate. Exactly. Exactly. That's exactly right. That is exactly right. Hot chocolate with some marshmallows, and what we always had as a kid is hot chocolate with marshmallows and then buttered toast. We That's what my mom always made us on cold days. And again, just using very, very little paint on the brush, like barely any at all. Just to get that shadow in there. We had cream and marshmallows with chocolate biscuits. Ah, very nice. That sounds tasty too. A little bit too much pigment on the brush there. The thing about this figure right here is that there's so little shadow on her face that it makes it a little bit difficult to pick up the highlights and shadows, but we'll do it. We have no choice but to do it. It just takes a little bit longer. Okay, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. My stomach's grumbling. Also, if there are any newcomers in the chat, I do apologize if I appear to go quiet at any point. It's usually just because I'm focusing, and then I forget that I'm streaming, and then I should probably talk a little bit. I just kind of get into a zone. Like, oh, right. Oh, that's too much. That was too much pigment. Gonna wet this cloth a little bit and just lift that pigment off. All right, and now that kind of curves around and just kind of comes down to about here. Very, very light pigment here. Very light. And I am going to grab an eraser. And see if I can erase the marks out of this. Should be able to, it's just carbon. I might have to hit that with some blue paint after, but that's okay. That shouldn't be an issue. Let's sit up straight. I'm slouching again. So what I'm just doing on the palette right now is just getting all the excess black off of the brush, because you do have to reload the pigment. But once you do that, you have to Once you get more paint on the brush, then you just, well, you don't have to, but for what I'm doing, like I want very little paint on the brush. But if you're doing something similar, I mean, you can do whatever your heart desires. There we go. Okay. So now you paint Warhammer sometimes. My desk is full of unpainted minis. Ah, fair. My younger brother actually just got into Warhammer not too long ago, and it's kind of cool. So, I'm gonna go into a little story time now. But you mentioning Warhammer, um, how do you find the oh, Siri bot's working overtime. Just picked up a couple of spam people. Anyway, how do you find painting Warhammers? Because I know my brother finds it pretty relaxing. I'm just wondering if you feel the same. He really has taken a liking to it, which is really cool because my younger brother has always been like very musically inclined when it comes to art. Um, his thing has always been music, and we're a very musical family, all of us. But like my older brother plays instruments, but also does a lot of drawing. Right? He's recently said that he wanted to get into painting. My sister uh, has always been into music and singing, and she plays the ukulele. She's got. I'm gonna do a little plug. If you search Jasmine Music, JAZMYNN on Spotify, she's got some music on there. Also on YouTube. Um, but she has also gotten very much into crafting, and she does also like little tiny paintings. She actually painted a picture of my wife and I on our wedding day at the first look. I'll grab that in a second actually and show you all. So she's gotten, that's how she gets her art out. My brother now has the Warhammer figurines, my younger brother. So that's his visual artist coming out now. Because my mom had always been like kind of the artist out of my parents, in terms of like visual arts. Like she would paint like murals of things like on our bedroom walls and stuff like that. Um, and she um, yeah, she was very artistically inclined that way. My dad has always said that he cannot for the life of him uh, draw anything. Like he can't draw stickmen. But what he's found now, again, he's always been, when it comes to art, his is writing and music. He loves to write. He's always been a writer, and then music. But he's recently discovered a lot of interest in the like adult coloring books and just doing like the coloring and shading and all that. Like he's gotten a very good eye lately of like color and color theory and how to shade things so that it makes sense. Like it's very, very cool. You started when you were 12. It can be relaxing, but painting 50 of the same model is less fun. Fair, fair. I prefer the heroes and independent mini manufacturers. That's understandable. Totally, totally. I'll finish up this nose and then I'll go get my sister's painting that she did for my wife and I. Very colorful. A lot more colorful than the stuff I usually do, which my wife was very happy about. Just take a little bit of this pigment off, just by dabbing and wiping just a little. That's about as good as it's gonna get. All right, let me go get this painting that my sister did. Your preference is actually the terrain making, because minis need houses and castles to live in. Ah, fair, fair. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. All right, I will be right back. I'm just gonna grab this painting that my sister made for us. It was near and dear to my heart, but this is the painting of my wife and I at our first look. Very, very colorful. Yeah, I love it. I love it. She surprised us with this for Christmas. I think not this past Christmas, but the Christmas before. Our first Christmas as a married couple. Thank you. Yeah, yeah. I love it. I love it. Very vibrant, very bright, very colorful, very full of energy and life, which I love. All right, let me go put this back, and then we'll continue. All right. I'm gonna see if I can zoom this in a bit, or I don't know. Maybe I should just. There's not really anywhere I can move it, so that's easier to see. But let me see if I can zoom in. Yeah, that's a little bit better. You've ordered a bunch of epoxy clay for a fantasy village you're making? Ooh, nice, nice, nice. Now, epoxy clay, how is that, because I don't really know the difference. How is that different from, I'm guessing, just like regular clay? Because, yeah, I couldn't tell you the difference myself. I'm trying to lean out of the camera here so you get a better view of what it is that we're doing. Because now we're moving on to the mouth, and I'm a little bit nervous about doing the mouth, but we'll figure it out. we'll figure it out. We'll get it going. Man, I need to shave. Ugh. It's 2-part clay that cures with a working time of 9 days. Oh, I see. Fair, fair. Very cool. Very cool. I would say that it's a similar texture to polymer clay. Fair enough. No, that's awesome. That's something that I wish I had a little bit more exposure to when I was growing up, like in school, like art classes, is working with like clay and stuff. We didn't do too much of that, unfortunately. All right. Now the mouth. And I know this is basically just me, I just have to follow the guidelines of the marks that I made earlier, but still nerve-wracking. It's nerve-wracking working on anyone's face because your brain is looking at the reference photo that you have. And your brain is kind of filling in the blanks and going like, well, I know what that person looks like. Your brain has no idea. It's got its advantages for making alterations to materials that can't be baked, like action figures and other art toys. Fair. Fair. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Now that you mention that. Here. Shaded in the back. And this is all dark back here. Hey, Rain. Thank you for the glug glug. I appreciate it. Let me go grab this. Cheers. Got some crushed cream soda, which I've tasted a lot of cream sodas, and a lot of them are very, very good. Crushed is still my favorite, honestly. But I hope you're doing well, Rain. Good to see you. Always good to see you. The edge of that tooth kind of comes here. Right. Yeah, there we go. Then you got a tooth gap. A and W's is yours? Oh, fair, fair, fair. And now you can never have it again. Why is that? I forgot A&W made a cream soda. Diabetes. Ah, fair, fair, fair. I understand. What does cream soda taste like? That is a very good question. Uh, it's hard to describe. Rain says it's like ambrosia. It kind of tastes like vanilla. Um, Cream soda isn't available in the UK. Interesting, interesting. Um, so I don't know if the ingredients will give me any tips on how to describe the flavor. No, it just has natural and artificial flavor. um, there's probably imports. Fair enough. So cream soda, it's sort of like you have like soda water, right? Like just regular soda water, and then you add obviously some sugar, um, and you add some vanilla, um, and not actual like cream, but it makes the whatever combination like ambrosia, cream. There's like creamy notes in it. There's a vanilla. The big taste that I taste personally is vanilla. Like it's like kind of a vanilla-ish flavor. Um, like it's not citrusy at all. There's no cola flavor or anything like that. It's very good. Powdered lactic acid. True. That's in there too. But yeah, no, it's very tasty. Some people have told me that as they get older, like crushed cream soda is a little too sweet for them. Ah, yes, the powdered lactic acid, hence the cream. Yes, yes, you're correct. Yeah, some people have said that it's the crush version is too sweet. Personally, I think it could be even sweeter. But I've got a tremendous sweet tooth, so I'm not I'm not quite objective with my rating of it. I feel like we would just call that lemonade because it's a clear fizzy drink. Fair, fair. There's a YouTube video that shows how to make your own cream soda. I didn't know that. Huh. And I see what you're saying about the lemonade. Yeah, there's no, even though on the crushed cans there's like a citrus wedge here. There's absolutely not like no citrus flavor in cream soda. But it is a it is lovely. But yeah, Rain did a better job of describing the flavor than I did. Okay. So the mouth is coming together. It's getting there. We got the teeth in. Now we just got to do all the lips and the shading and stuff. And then we got to move up to this eye and then go from there. Yeah, no, I know. I agree. Maybe cream-aid, vanilla-aid. We find some way to add an aid suffix. Fair, fair. I mean, vanilla-aid, I think would work. But yeah, cream soda is the food of the gods. It's much more than like actual ambrosia. Like the Jello dessert that people make that they call ambrosia. It's like, nah, I don't think the gods are eating this. And if they are, the gods need better taste. So the teeth here kind of faded into the background. Like they're not like super bright. Can I share the link to the video? Explains what goes into cream soda. Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. I trust you. Aaron Brew is from the Celtic gods. I've had Aaron Brew. It's very good. Hey, Redria, welcome on in. Welcome on in. I'm glad you like the camera angles. I remember back in the day when I only had one camera on what I was doing, and it'd be kind of tough to like figure stuff out. But yeah, thanks, Brain. I'm gonna have to check that out because if I could make my own cream soda, that'd be cool. But yeah, I've had Aaron Brew before. Actually, I bought some in. I'm pretty sure I bought some in Banff when my wife and I went on our honeymoon last year in 2024. Yeah, because they were selling it there. Yeah, it's very good. It's very good. My younger brother also loves it. But how are you, Redria? Hope you're doing well. Hope your Saturday is shaping up nicely so far. Anne's cold and about to go into massive debt. Oh no. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. Everybody drink water today? True. True. It's the price we pay to be homeowners. Yeah. Yeah. I hear that. Yes, everybody do hydrate. I also I also give myself headaches. It's that it's hey, thank you for the glug. I appreciate it. On the next glug, I'm gonna have to go get some water. Um, but yeah, I always forget to. I used to be so good at drinking water, and then I don't know, just kind of lost the habit of it, and been trying to get it back. But then I go and like get a headache, and it's like, oh man, have you drank any water today? I don't think so. Why is it so goddamn hard to take care of yourself? Why is it so hard to take care of oneself? Like it shouldn't be that difficult, and yet it is. But yeah, Rain, I'm sorry to hear that you're facing that because I know what you mean though. We've had to have a bunch of stuff done here at the house. Uh, that yeah, home ownership's not it's not pretty sometimes. Crap. Monster and Red Bull are made of water. That counts, right? Yes. You had a Celsius this morning? Fair. Yeah, it does. But once you finish your Monster and Red Bull, you should have some plain water. Yeah. It's like soda or juice, right? Like, you got a pop or a juice or like alcohol. Like, those are all basically made of. There's water in those too, but you should have some regular water. About to get cracking on some art yourself? Oh, nice, nice, nice. What are you working on, if I may ask? Gonna check and make sure everything on here is good. There we go. Everything's good. I have a soda story that I never shut up about, but if you want to hear it, you're gonna have to show up to my streams and ask me about it. Ah, fair enough. Fair enough. Let's try to not screw up this tooth. Okay. It takes notes. Either that or see if Laya remembers the story. Ah, fair, fair. Oh, speaking of, if y'all are free this coming Thursday, at 6 p.m. Eastern, Laya Lurian, Gage, and I are actually going to do a joint stream where we're finally, after years and years talking about it, we're finally going to build my Discord. Finally. So if any of you lovely people in chat have a Discord and would like to share some tips, I will take all the tips I can get. Because I don't know how to run a Discord. I don't know how to work a Discord. I barely use Discord already, so I'm gonna have to get used to doing that. Oh, you just deleted your Discord server? Ah, fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. Okay. So the inside of the mouth is done, thankfully. Now, we gotta work on lips and whatnot. Which its own little struggle. It was dead. I run my Destiny 2 clan server, and that's more active than my personal Discord server. Ah, fair. Fair. That's fair enough. So it had to go. Fair. Fair. Yep. That makes sense. Okay. The body of the lips. Oh. Readjust a little. Not much though. I feel like this brush isn't stiff enough for this. What I need to do. So we are going to go to a stiffer brush. We're going to load it up with paint, and then we're going to take a lot of that paint off. Yeah, that's better. Basically want to lay down like a base shade on the lips, and then go in and like fill in any like darker shadows. And that other brush just wasn't doing it. It's a fine brush, but it just wasn't quite stiff enough to get the texture that I need. Okay. So now we'll start filling in the shadows on the upper lip. There. Just like a line that comes up here. Yeah. Then one here. Okay, and then this kind of has the same shade as the part above it, so we're just going to fill that in. It's all about just filling in the depth of it, you know? Kind of shaded like across the top. Little mark there. I apologize because this is hard to see, but unfortunately I can't really bring the camera much closer. I can try though. Yeah, it doesn't get much closer without being like blurry, but hopefully it's not too blurry. Hopefully my head doesn't get in the way too much. The thing about using as little paint as I'm using is you got to be cognizant of your brush drying up because there's not very much paint on it at all, and it's acrylic paint which dries extremely fast. So you got to make sure you're not accidentally drying up your brush. Which I've done that before, and thankfully there are ways to remedy that. If you have if you work with the acrylic paint specifically, and you accidentally dry up your brush, what you want to do is you want to submerge your brush with. It doesn't really matter the mix. I think it depends on like how dry the brush is, but you want to get some rubbing alcohol and some water in there as well. Mix those together, put your brush in it, and then like let it sit for a minute. And by a minute, I mean longer than a minute, but let it sit and then just kind of like work your brush around, and the rubbing alcohol will start to break down the plastics in the acrylic paint. Because essentially that's what acrylic paint is. It's like a plastic. And the rubbing alcohol will break it down, and then you'll finally have a viable brush again afterwards. It might take multiple rounds, and it might not get all of the paint out of the bottom part of the bristles, but at least the tips will be back to normal again. So just a tip for any of you who have some dried brushes. You don't have to throw them out if you don't want to. You can try and reclimate them. And it doesn't always work. Like if your brushes are like super dried up, then it may not work. But I've had some pretty dried brushes where it ended up working, so I think it's worth a shot. Because your boy could stand to take care of his brushes a little bit more. I it's a bad habit of mine. I don't take as good care of my brushes as I probably should. Okay, let me just back up, see how that looks. Looks pretty good. See, the problem is with this lip is that all the shades are very kind of like the same. So I kind of have to play around a little bit with it. Unfortunately, yeah, a lot of the shades are kind of the same, very samey, so. I kind of have to make some areas a little darker than they actually are, and some try to keep them lighter than they actually are. Just so that it's not so one note. Yeah, that was a little darker than I wanted. We're just that cloth and just lift some of this pigment up. That's a little bit better. Time is it? It's already 11. Jeez. Okay, we may not get all three of these panels done. This one's taking a little bit longer than I expected, but we'll try our best. The thing that's kind of nice as far as painting goes, and any kind of art, is you tend to learn as you go. So there's some stuff that I did wrong on the top lip that I'm gonna make sure I don't do for my rendering of the bottom lip, you know? Stuff like that. You kind of work out what works and what doesn't, and then for other parts of the piece, you kind of go like, okay, well, let's not do that again, you know? Like using the softer brush and just maintaining the stiffer one, you know? Because this is already going better than the top lip did. It almost sounds like a Pokemon tune for some reason to me. I don't know why, but that's the vibe I get. Also, with your work, a big adage that I live by is and it's not something I came up with, but it applies to what I do, which is don't let perfect be the enemy of good. There's sometimes during a piece where I'll like just want to keep working and working and working at this one part that I'm not 100% happy with, and then it's like, hold on, you're gonna basically work it until it's not what you wanted at all. So just take a step back, relax. It's not gonna be exactly how you pictured it, and that's okay. That's perfectly fine. As long as it still like at least mostly conveys what it is that you want. Like if it doesn't at all, then yeah, keep working at it. But if it mostly does what it is that you wanted, try not to fret too much if it's not exactly how you wanted. Pretty happy with that. I'm just gonna fill in a few mid-tone areas a little bit more. And just to sharpen up this part. More paint on there than I meant to. And I'm gonna pretend like I did that on purpose, then I'm gonna take my cloth and wipe it up a bit. Okay. Oh, goodness. That was too much. There was more paint than what I wanted on that part of the brush. That's okay. Another thing with a piece of work that is hard to remember, but I implore anybody who's creating to try to remember this, is everything is fixable. Whether you need to work around it or work over it or anything like that, everything is fixable. That's the piece of advice that I have the hardest time believing myself and practicing myself, because there are sometimes I'm working on something and I really just want to trash it, but just want to throw it out and start anew. And I mean, you can do that if you want. It's your piece. You can do what you like with it. But sometimes it pays off to kind of rid yourself of the impulse to just kind of throw it out. All right. So now we're going to move on to the shadow beneath the lips, because they're just kind of weird just sitting out here in no man's land. So we're going to anchor it to the face with some shadow. Big old shadow that lives there. I sound like Bob Ross. Shadow that just kind of comes across the top of the chin. And then there's some shading going on out here at the side of the mouth that I'm gonna put in there. There we go. Now that that's a little bit more anchored to the actual face, instead of just having some lips just kind of floating there. And then of course we're gonna come down here, put a little more paint on the brush, and start filling in the shadow along the jawline. Kind of mirror over here, just a little. This is one of those things where you start out and you're not quite sure how things are going or how things are gonna like end up, and then it all kind of comes together. Little by little, piece by piece, it all comes together. So, all right, now we'll just come down here and continue. Soften that up. There we go. Okay, so now we've got the other half of the eye and stuff to do. So I'm gonna get my other brush. The smaller, less stiff brush. It's a softer brush, but because it's smaller, it's going to be a bit better on the on doing the details here. And I have my water down here on the ground because I have had too many experiences of almost knocking the paint water off of the desk that I have right in front of me. It's a little TV tray, but I'd rather not get paint water all over my laptop, because I've had that almost happen a couple of times, so rather not do that again. Okay. So we're gonna start with the darkest stuff, as I usually do, because that gives a good jumping off point for everything else. I have to re-glue this brush head back onto the brush. So what I do actually is I tend to, if I want to get like a fine point on this, I'll like put the paint in here and then I'll just roll it like that, and kind of like roll it and drag it, and it tends to give you a very, very fine point of paint, like that. Yeah, that's a better example of it. Okay, so this right here is just all black. Cool. Okay. That's the very corner of the eye. And then, what do we have? I suppose we should actually finish shading around the nose, shouldn't we? Let's do that. For whatever reason, this side of the nose is darker than the other. So we're gonna keep it that way. Just gonna maintain that. That just kind of comes right up into here. Yeah, there we go. That turned out pretty good, I think. Now we just have the rest of this to do. We're not done by a long shot, but it's okay. It's sort of the same adage I used when I was playing Celeste and I would screw up, like right near the end of something, and be like, "Well, all right, we just got to do it again." With this, you just gotta keep going. And we didn't screw anything up, but we just, there's a lot to do, but you just got to do it. That's all it comes down to. You just got to do it. Ain't no other way it's gonna get done. Okay, so this part is darker. That whole section here is darker. Okay. Not that dark. Damn it. Right above the eye, there is a line, dark line. We're just gonna throw that in right now. Yep. Okay. Then there's a little like upturn here. Just like so. Just like that. Okay. And now there, that's the consistency I want. Down. And then we just kind of fill in the, not there. Although I don't mind that mark. That mark doesn't exist, but it's consistent, so. Now I'm gonna bring this down. Now for this, I almost feel like, oh no, that worked out okay. This part is pretty dark actually. Okay. That goes up toward where the eyebrow exists. I think I have to bring that piece of hair down just a little bit more. That's what I need to do. But I'll do that in a second. Right now I want to focus on this. Space there isn't that big. Actually, that's about the shade that I need. Yeah. Yeah, actually gonna work. Basically the entirety of the eyebrows on this panel here. extending this up. And then with that hair, we're gonna fill in some of the shading coming down like so. And filling that space. Then I'm gonna grab just a little bit more paint than usual. We're gonna thin this down some. So, okay. Shading in here is about the same as the outside. So I do want to take some of that off because I was a little too overzealous. Just a little. There we go. That's better. Then I'm just going to shore up that eye line just a little bit more. Just a little bit. Okay, so next up is a much easier part. All of this down here, which I'll move the camera down some. Because now we're working on all of this, which will be easier to deal with than the fine details up near the eye. So we're gonna grab our stiffer brush and start working down here. Okay, so first things first is this line here along the jaw. On the brush for this. We've got some wisps of hair here. I'm not being too exact with these because a good number of these wisps are going to disappear once we put in the shading. Which you may be wondering why I'm not doing the shading first. If that's the case, is because I have all the lines for where all the wisps are already kind of put in as guidelines, and I'd rather work from those than not have them. So if it means that a bunch of them are wiped out, and then we just gotta put in some more in a minute, then that's all right. That's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. Hair can be so tricky. Okay. Now it's time to get some paint off our brush and start doing the shading on the neck. Oh, Rain, thank you for the glug. I have to go get some water. I will be right back. There we go. Thank you for the glug. I appreciate you. All right. Making sure I stay hydrated. Because we just discussed how hard it is to remind yourself to stay hydrated. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Okay, there we go. Now we're gonna throw in a few more of those hair wisps. I'm gonna redo some of them because we did cover a fair amount of them up. I remembered how you said next glug you had to go get water. Yep, and I definitely did. I definitely had to. So I appreciate it because now I'm hydrated. Okay, I think that's about as much as I'm gonna do for the hair and stuff. I think it comes across. All right, so now we gotta start working on this jacket area down here. Okay. Now this all in here is pretty dark. And then it kind of, the stitching is down here, stays dark. Well, that's not what I wanted to do at all, but that's okay. All right. I'll see if we can fix that. Yeah, more or less. I mean, this is all basically in shadow anyway, so. Have a fun rest of the stream. So, hey, thank you. I appreciate it. Hopefully, you'll be a homeowner in a couple months. I hope so too. I hope so too. It is fun being a homeowner. For all of its troubles, it is fun. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, thank you very much for coming in. Thank you very much for the gloves. I do appreciate you. And yeah, take it easy. We're gonna be wrapping up shortly soon. Basically, as soon as I'm done this bottom section, I'm gonna take the tape off, show everybody, and then we can go find somebody to raid. Yeah, best of luck, Rain. I hope so too. All right, let's add some shadowy bits to this down here. I'm going to add a little bit more black to some of this section. There we go. I think that does it. All right. So now, sometimes it's the scariest part, which is taking this tape off and seeing how things turned out. Some ASMR for you. Edge of this tape. Oh, that was a fun sound. All right. So we're gonna move that down, and then we'll move this back and up a bit. We can see the hopefully the whole thing. Well, okay, maybe not the whole thing, but I'll stop. Oh, do I have to? Oh, because the zoom's on, that's why. There we go. I forgot. There we go. There it is. That's the piece so far. It's looking pretty good to me. Yeah, that section turned out nice. I wasn't sure if it would, but it turned out nice. That middle section there. Okay. So now what we're gonna do is, before we end, I am just gonna clean up some of the spots that some of the spots where there's some black in between the two sections. And yeah, I'm just gonna take my stiffer brush, just kind of clean up those spots. The last little bit of time that we got here. So here's one of them. There's a lot of yellow in between these two lines, but I'm gonna have to like retape that and repaint it with the blacks, but I'm not gonna do that today. I'll do that off camera, I think. But basically it's the areas that are basically like all black except for that little line of separation. that I'm just going to fill in now. Because the same black is used across both like, it's the same black, Mars black, so it will dry relatively the same. Relatively the same across. This down here is like basically just joined, feathering the edges out so that a bit more organic. It's basically all the areas where the tape just didn't quite provide the separation we wanted, but that's okay. It did its best. It's a little better. So that's all I'm going to do for that section. Now we'll move over here. There's a little bit right in between these two. Yeah, classic song here. Okay, and then there's a bunch here on this between these two, so just gonna paint these in, and then we'll call it a stream. There's some here, but I'm not going to touch that yet because I'm going to need some paint for that. But in the meantime, there we go. Things are more or less shored up. Yeah. I like it. Yeah. Paint on the very end of my brush, just kind of clean this up real quick. Which I know you guys can't really see this, which I apologize for, but yeah, there we go. All right. And I think that is going to do it for today. Yeah. Look at that. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. I like it. I like it. It's coming along. So the next time we work on this, don't be surprised if these blue panels are done and we're working on the brown panels because there's one more face that has to go in amongst these two. So with that, I think that's going to be a string. So let me just switch the thing here. There we go. Yeah, thank you everybody for coming in. Really appreciate all y'all. Rain, thank you very much for all the glug glugs. Include and to you, Redria, thank you for the glug glug as well. Big thank you to Calico Kitties for coming in and raiding us. Very much appreciated you sharing your community with us. And yeah, let's see who's doing what. Oh, Redria's. We're gonna go raid Redria because Redria's doing some art right now. All right, so let me just set up this raid message. Raid Redria 64. There we go. Perfect. All right. So yeah, thank you everybody for coming in and enjoying. I hope you enjoyed it. I also got to make a point not to look at me in this thing, but to look at you guys. Look at the camera. But yeah, thank you for coming in. I hope you enjoyed. We made some good progress today on this piece. So the next stream that we're going to do is probably tomorrow at 10 a.m. again, playing some Undertale finally, going back to that. And then the next time we work on this is actually going to be on Monday. It'll either be this piece or another piece like it, but probably this piece. So that'll be Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern that we'll be working on this. So hopefully we'll see you guys then. And if not, I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your weekend. Thanks for hanging out with me on this Saturday morning. And yeah, hopefully the rest of your day is as beautiful as you all made this day for me. So, all right, let's go say hi to Redria and see what Redria is doing art-wise. All right, take it easy, y'all. We'll see you next time. And just remember to do your best. That's all you got to do. Just do your best. All right, bye, everybody.